Okay, so I've got a pretty crazy dream. I attended a lot of crypto conferences last year. It was fun. There was a lot of people, a lot of companies, but there was one person in particular that everybody was on the lookout for. If you were there as a company, you were representing your blockchain project, most likely an ICO, you were looking for investors, but you're not searching for any random average investor, the one who's going to throw down $1,000 or $10,000. You're seeking the whales, the syndicate managers, the hedge fund guys, the VCs as everyone would call them. These guys usually were managing north of $500,000 for their crypto funds, because some of these guys had multiple funds. Some of them were coming from a Wall Street background, you know, stocks. They were trading commodities. Some had long backgrounds with their companies, whether it was oil or the banking industry, something to do with finance or making a lot of money. They had some free time. They looked into crypto and they're like, you know what? Hey, let's make some money too. In the very early days, a syndicate had a couple $100,000. Then it started going north of 1 million, 5 million, 10 million. And suddenly you had names like Pantera Capital pop up, where you're dealing with hundreds of millions of dollars now. Not only that, they have multiple funds within Pantera Capital. There is the original Bitcoin fund. Recently, they made another fund. And for those of you who are looking for a lot of money, the highest paid salaries are in the hedge fund world on Wall Street. Now, that is with decades and decades of experience being the manager, or it was handed down to you because you're in a family. A lot of people are predicting that crypto, if it continues to grow every single year, 10 years down the line, you could have salaries like that, even better maybe. Forget about the hype, look at the stability periods. This is an awesome time where Bitcoin has steadily been over $6,000 for the past year. Sure, it went up, it went down, there was a lot of volatile periods, but for the most part, look at the past couple of weeks, there's been like no action. Okay, 6,400, 6,300, 6,500. Yeah, that's great. The general public is freaking out, but to become a hedge fund guy, you have to understand both worlds. Them, the general public that at least has some cash because you're accepting their cash, and the institutional investors, where in the case of crypto, this gets a little confusing since it's only been around a couple of years. You don't have many experts to rely upon. I learned one fundamental thing over the past year, and that's I can't invest. I really sucked at investing last year. A lot of people made money, and that's because they got lucky. And I hate using that term lucky, but that's what happened to a lot of us. Looking at the comments section of a lot of other channels, the larger ones, there is a bunch of negativity. So even the ones who were purported as geniuses last year, now the hate is coming on to them. Some of these guys, their channels disappeared. They went into a different industry. Others are still uploading, but it seems that almost every single video has more dislikes than likes, sometimes in a 3x, 4x, 10x proportion. My channel is smaller, but unlike those guys, I don't actually have a lot of money. I burned through 6 figures. I learned my lessons through that, and thanks to it, I am a well-rounded individual. So I understand this is a dream, and in order to make a dream happen, you need to put the work in. The reason I was able to make those 6 figures in the first place, while some other individuals were able to get 5 figures, or maybe they only made $10,000, I put more time and effort into educating myself what works, what doesn't. I didn't do cloud mining or waste my time trying to learn mining, electricity costs. I also understood that would be too great of a time suck. There is a lot of money in mining, but you probably already have to know what you're doing. You can learn it, but it's going to take a couple months of your time. If there is a more efficient route of making capital quicker, as in something newer and something that you can learn in a couple of weeks instead of a couple months, I will take that route, and that's what I did. So why am I making this video? I'm showing you a step in the journey of me, my channel, and my possible future companies. If I completely fail, where the ultimate failure is never trying, but if I fail completely, I will not do companies. I won't try and become a hedge fund manager or whatever. In the traditional sense, on Wall Street, I could probably never work as a hedge fund analyst. I can't work underneath people. Crypto investing experience doesn't really count, and my stock experience is extremely limited. For a 20-year-old, it's great, but they're not looking for that on Wall Street. In crypto, however, it's a bit different. Remember what I'm always preaching. There's a lot of problems out there in the world, and in order to get rich, you need to have the rich mindset. You gotta find solutions for the wealthy. These problems have to be so great that many, many millionaires are willing to pay you a hefty fee to fix them. And these have to be problems where there's not a lot of other solutions out there, so there's very little competition. And when the competition does come in, you have experience and the skill set to beat them out, and also raise your rates. I understand that one of my mistakes after losing chasing the money. I was focusing on other things, and it's nice to diversify. I still have my other channel going, and that's bringing in the majority of the income at this point. I'm paying off my debts, doing little gigs here and there, but we're getting closer and closer to that zero net worth mark, which I'm so happy to see that finally. My worst point was negative $50,000. Last year, I remember around November, that's when I got a $20,000 payday, then there was a $17,000 payday, then there was a $30,000 payday, then there was a couple thousand flowing in every single week from various companies. So it's only been a year since we've seen giant fluctuations between the highs and the lows. The worst is behind me, it's out that window, see you, goodbye. But I understand there is a lot of information that I missed out on. I learned myself quite a few things. Many people would give up, and that's why you have seen some YouTubers simply go away. One thing is though, I don't want to give up. I have been thinking a lot about this, and it's something that I really do like. It's just an industry that develops so quickly, it can get confusing, really complex, and before you know it, if you're not up to date with everything, you fall out of it. So what do I have to do? I need to catch up. So every single day now, I will continue to watch YouTube videos, but instead of entertainment, it's going to be educational. It needs to be educational. I need to figure out what is the fastest format to learn information about the news, what's happening in crypto, while simultaneously finding out different points of discovery and stuff that I can also discuss on my channel. Even though knowing random events that are happening in crypto isn't really going to help my future companies and the future companies that I'm going to work with, it's nice to be well-rounded so you always have topics to discuss. You have base points built up, and when you go to these conferences, you understand what is being talked about, right? Elon Musk is a billionaire thanks to his ability in his teenage years to learn information and utilize it for his companies, for his businesses. Learning information about cryptocurrencies is easy at this point. I have a great feeling that it's going to expand at an exponential rate over the next couple of years. So we're still at a good point right now to find a niche that suits us. Before I'm going to get into any funds or try to start my own syndicates, I don't want to compete against other people having $100,000. I know that's the millions of dollars range, so don't worry, I'm not thinking about it unless it's time to get serious, and money talks in that world. Before then though, we still need that knowledge because my goal is to earn $100,000 over the next year, pay off my debts, get a car, and knowing what I know from last year, where using a 7,000 subscriber channel to get paid 5 figures, even though the markets have gone down quite a bit, I understand that there's less competition to deal with right now. So as long as I make quality videos for you guys, as long as I'm learning more, the better it's gonna be. And I'm sure there's some huge events coming up. So what is the first thing I'm going to do today? I have woken up, I am wearing what I was sleeping in, and we're going to go run on the treadmill because I'm fat and I need to lose weight. But instead of listening to music, I have set up my laptop so it's facing right there. I can listen to some of my favorite crypto YouTubers. I'm going to get information from them very quickly. And usually the videos that I go for, it's a couple topics discussed in one video. So if you're going through a couple of those videos, you know the major news stories of that day. And as long as you repeat it on a daily process, and then outside of that, while you're doing your own work, you do research, which my work forces me to do research. So if I have topics outside of those that I heard in the videos, well, I have to read the articles, I have to look through, find some sources. And then if you have some free time, you go on the forums section, you start debating with other people, check out what their opinions are, where, you know, price predictions are gonna go, although I'm trying to get out of that. I lost money with you guys. I understand the pain that you feel, but if there's anything I can say to my viewers out there, I think it's the stupidest time to give up right now. If you lost a lot of money, it would just not make sense to give up. At least if you like this industry, right? Because probably a large majority of you who've invested over the past 2 years at one point or another said you love crypto. You bought some little Bitcoin stickers. I was looking at my backpack the other day. There was plenty of times I was close to giving up on crypto. There was plenty of times I was close to giving up on YouTube over my 7-8 year career. This is like the 20th channel that has forced me to step outside of my comfortable range. And thanks to that, I've been able to make money. So if you love crypto, don't give up. Understand that this is a good period we're in with stability. The funds are making a lot of money. How much money? Well, just understand this. There's 2 ways a hedge fund can make money. This is the primary source of their profit. The first wave is from investments coming in and they take a percentage straight off the top. And that's going to be 1%, 2%, 3%, depending on the hedge funds, but on a traditional basis, 2% coming in. So if there's $100 million, there's $2 million profit right there. Then they take 20% of the profits of whatever they have invested and made over the past year. They pay out the rest, see you goodbye, but when you're dealing with billions of dollars, that is a hefty salary for the hedge fund manager. In crypto, however, the rates rise up and the intensity of the profit, the volatility, helps create rates like 4 and 40%. Now, we're not dealing with billions of dollars yet, but there's syndicates dealing with hundreds of millions, and you can understand where the space is heading. All right, let's get into a live stream about Bitcoin Cash. So, my name is Mike Kubera. See you guys in an hour.